Hello everyone! Today I am tier ranking the Harry Potter characters since we are wrapping up Harry Potter. Finally, we've been doing this for several months. So I have this set up pretty similarly to what I did for Lord of the Rings. So I have the top tier is great characters. These are my absolute favorites. The tier below that is good characters, so these are other good characters. Below that is characters I love to hate. And then below that is characters who are meh. These are characters who don't have enough screen time or character development for me to really have an opinion on them. Below that is not great, and these are characters that I don't really like. And then below that is bad, and those are characters who are just terrible and need to get the heck out of here. So the first one is Harry. I'm gonna say Harry is a good character. He's the main character. He's pretty important to the story. But I don't love Harry the way I love some of the other side characters, so he's going to go in good. I'm going to do the same with Hermione and Ron. Ginny is one of my favorites. I'm going to put her in great. She has some really good character development. The twins have to go in great because they are the twins. Percy. Who likes Percy? I don't know that anyone likes Percy. He's gonna go not great. I feel like Bill is not really there a whole lot, and I don't really have an opinion on him. Molly. Molly is a good mom for Harry and the Weasleys, and Arthur is a good dad. Dumbledore. This one is probably gonna be controversial. I do not like Dumbledore. I disagree with a lot of the decisions he made regarding Harry's upbringing. I don't like what he did with Harry as I don't like what he did with Harry as a baby. I don't like the way he let the Dursleys raise him. I don't like a lot of the decisions he made, and those decisions really indicate things about his character that I am not a fan of. I'm not saying he's a poorly written character, I'm just saying I don't like who he is as a person. And I know that's really controversial, but that's how I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say Hagrid is a good character. I think Snape is incredibly well developed, and so I think he goes in great. I'm not saying he's a good person, I'm just saying his character development is fantastic. Voldemort. Voldemort is not well developed at all. Like, we don't really know his motivations, we don't know much about him, so he's really crucial to the storyline though, so he's gonna go in not great since he's not well developed, but he can't go in bad because those are characters who like just need to get out of the story, and we can't get rid of the main antagonist. Sirius is my favorite character of all time, so he's gonna go at the front here, maybe, yes. I love Sirius. I know he doesn't have the best character development, but I absolutely loved him as a kid, and I still love him now, and he's gonna go in great. Neville has the most amazing character arc out of anybody, and Neville is just a fantastic character. He goes in great. McGonagall is a good character. Oh my god, Umbridge. Umbridge is one I think we all love to hate. We hate her more than Voldemort. Mad-Eye Moody. I don't really have an opinion on Mad-Eye. I know he's there quite a bit throughout, but most of it is fake Mad-Eye. So I'm going to put him in meh. Fun fact, the actor who plays Mad-Eye and the actor who plays Bill are father and son, if you didn't know. Vernon Dursley. I feel like we just love to hate the Dursleys because I really like the way they are portrayed in the movies. And so I think they're just ones that I love to hate. Oh my god. Fudge. Who likes Fudge? Nobody. Peter Pettigrew. I think we all love to hate Peter Pettigrew, and we all cringe when he turns into a rat at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban. It's terrible. Okay, Dobby is a good character. Malfoy. I feel like Malfoy's like such a complicated character. I feel like he's one we kind of love to hate, although I wouldn't say we quite hate him. There's a lot of animosity between him and the main trio, but it's not to the point where we truly hate him. I mean, he's not like evil towards them, and even when he's put in a position where he can do a really evil deed, he doesn't do it. So I'm not sure I'd quite call it hate, but I'm going to put it in that category. Dudley. For most of it, Dudley would probably go in love to hate, but because of the ending, like at the beginning of the Deathly Hallows, there's that scene where Dudley says goodbye to Harry, and I feel like that elevates Dudley to a good character, maybe. I'm just gonna put him there. We'll know that it's complicated. I like Slughorn. We can put him there. I also like Luna. Okay, I don't really like Cedric. I like him in the book because he's pretty friendly with Harry. I don't think he's very well developed in the movie, so I'm gonna put him in not great. And then Petunia's gonna go with Vernon and the love to hate. Okay, Kreacher in the movies is terrible. He's not great. But in the books, he has this arc that makes him so much better. So I'm gonna put him in good. And I guess since I am going off of books, I will elevate Cedric to meh, since he is written better in the book. Oh my gosh, I don't like Crouch at all. He's, no. Filch. I feel like we love to hate Filch. Filch is always catching people when they're in trouble. Krum. I don't really feel like we get enough of Krum's characterization, so I'm gonna have to put him in meh, because I really don't have feelings towards him. It's same with Trelawney. She's really only there in like the 3rd book and a little bit in the 5th. Okay, Lockhart I think is one we all love to hate. Again, with Fleur, I feel like we don't get enough characterization to really say much about her, and she is way better developed in the books than the movies, so I'm gonna put her in meh. Lucius. I feel like Lucius is another love to hate. Tonks is a good character. Crabbe and Goyle. I feel like these two, we really don't get much of their character development, so even though they're there a lot, I still just don't really have an opinion. Bellatrix. I feel like most people love to hate Bellatrix, but I just truly hate Bellatrix. Bellatrix just needs to go away for good, because no. Same with Cho. I think Cho was so poorly developed. Like, she's a walking stereotype, and I think that's really problematic. So I have never liked Cho, and I don't like the stereotypes that she represents. If she had been written better and did not have all those stereotypes behind her, I would probably like her, but I just don't like the way she is written because she is a walking stereotype. Dean Thomas. I feel like we really don't know enough about him to choose one way or the other. Same with Oliver Wood. Okay, we never see Harry's parents, like, hardly ever, so meh. Oh my god, Rita Skeeter. I hate Rita Skeeter, and not in a love to hate way. She is a terrible human being. She needs to go there. Seamus. I feel like, again, we don't really know much about Seamus. I love watching him blow things up, but that's about it. Karkaroff. I feel like he's also just a meh, because we really don't know much about him. Same with Madame Pomfrey. And yeah, Scrimshire is only there for like one scene, so no. Mundungus. I don't like Mundungus. He causes problems. Lavender is really only in the movies when she's in a relationship with Ron, and I kind of get annoyed by that stuff. She's in the books a little bit more. I'm going to put her in meh, just because she's not there a whole lot. Same with Professor Flitwick and Griphook. and Angelina, and I can't tell who this person is. Put them in meh. Might be one of the twins? I'm not really sure. And then, yeah, Lily is also not in there very much. Quirrell. Poor stuttering Professor Quirrell. I would say he's one we love to hate. Moaning Myrtle. Yeah, I'll put Moaning Myrtle in good. She's there enough, and her characterization is kind of interesting. Ollivander is not really in there all that much. I'm not entirely sure who this person is. Madame Maxime is not in there very much. Neither is Lee Jordan. Like Kingsley. Oh my gosh, Greyback. I don't like him. He's a terrible person. He can go away. Professor Sprout is not in there very much. Narcissa, I think... Narcissa, I don't know what to do with Narcissa, because she's not really there, but then in Half-Blood Prince, she is all of a sudden in the story, and she's all about protecting Draco, and then in the 7th book, she obviously does something really great for Harry, so I think I'll put her in good just based on what we see in those last 2 books. Stan Shunpike. So if you've just watched the movies, you don't really know about Stan Shunpike, but in the books, he is actually a Death Eater, so I'm gonna say he's not great because he is a bad guy. Aberforth is not really in there all that much. What I do see of Aberforth, I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm just gonna put him there. Same with Colin Creevey. We really don't see Bathilda Bagshot. And this is fake Bathilda Bagshot. This is Nagini anyway. We don't see Amos Diggory all that much. Oh my gosh, Marge. No one likes Marge. The fat lady, I don't really have an opinion on. Pansy Parkinson, yeah, she's not really in there that much. And then Lupin is a good character. So yeah, that's what I have for my tier ranking. In the greats, I have Sirius, the Weasley twins, Ginny, Neville, and Snape. And those are my favorite characters in the series, with Sirius and the twins being my favorites. I also just like Ginny's character development. I like the depth to Snape's character and Neville's character arc. In good, I have the main trio, the Weasley parents, Hagrid, McGonagall, Dobby, Dudley, Horace Slughorn, Luna, Kreacher, Tonks, Moaning Myrtle, Kingsley, Narcissa Malfoy, and Remus Lupin. For love to hate, I have Umbridge, the Dursleys, Peter Pettigrew, Malfoy, Filch, Lockhart, Quirrell, and Lucius Malfoy. And for meh, I have a lot of characters, and then not great, I have Percy, Dumbledore, which I know is very controversial, Voldemort, Fudge, Barty Crouch, Mundungus, Stan Shunpike, and then the ones that I just absolutely hate and they need to get out of this story is Bellatrix, Cho, Rita Skeeter, Fenrir Greyback, and Marge Dursley. So that is my tier ranking of the Harry Potter characters. If you don't agree with my ranking, that is fine. This is just my preference in terms of the characters, and I know some of my opinions are not horribly popular. I never seem to have popular character opinions, and that's just the way I work. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a great day.